A very pleasant welcome to LNTV News. Live, I'm Edward TAMBA with this edition. Liberian government names budgetary support and agriculture as critical areas for Liberia's post-COVID-19 economic recovery. Out of 211 persons infected with coronavirus, Liberia records 85 recoveries and 62 cases in treatment. River G County Senator Komine Wise calls for easing of 3 p.m. lockdown restriction for farmers in rural communities. And away from Liberia, Nigerian government demolishes 2 hotels for violating lockdown rules in Rivers State. These are the top stories we're following. After this break, we'll be right back with more developments. Please stay with us if you can. Welcome back. The Incident Management Team, the IMT, has announced the addition of 5 new cases of coronavirus in the country. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 211, including 35 health workers. The IMT recent report added that the death toll still remains at 20, while 85 recoveries have been reported. The report maintained that 892 persons have been followed up. Meanwhile, 62 persons are undergoing treatment at the quarantine center in the country. The government of Liberia says it is taking steps guided by international partners to minimize the impact of coronavirus on the economy. In an ALBC interview Monday, Vice President Joel Howard Taylor named budgetary support and investing in the agricultural sector during the post-COVID-19 as measures being taken by the government of Liberia.
The Ministry of Finance was looking at restructuring all of our financing to ensure we're able to deal with COVID-19 as our partners supplement what we're doing and begin to look at what the budget will look like. I believe they had asked for an extension and that the 2020-21 budget will be sent to the legislature hopefully before the end of May so that we can quickly look at it. We have many challenges, to tell you the truth. Businesses are, almost closed down. Most businesses, except the ones that were allowed to open. So people haven't been making money. How do people pay taxes? Supplies haven't been coming in. All of the projects that are ongoing, including the road projects, have almost come to a complete standstill. So it will definitely affect what we're able to do, and we have to look at that. I think the budget will suffer as a result of us not being able to raise all of the regular taxes that we have. We now have to look at new ways of raising funding, and I think that's what the whole process will entail. What do we do post-COVID-19? How do we ensure that our different sectors, especially the agriculture sector, that has such a huge potential, is streamlined and put in place so we can begin to export to neighboring countries? Liberia is buying pepper from Guinea. We can plant our own pepper? Of course we can plant pepper. It's simple. Every yard can plant pepper.
VP Taylor also recommended a series of measures to create revenue generation during the post-COVID-19 in Liberia.
We have to create the revenue that we need because if you talk to the LRA commissioners, they will tell you that our standard ways of raising revenue is challenged because businesses are closed. So you can't see a closed business and say, well, I can't pay hell about taxes or something you didn't even get. The taxes are a portion of what the people make. So by them closing down or slowing down over the last few months, the taxes will be reduced. What we must look at now, how do we create new revenue? And to create new revenue requires, I believe, the agricultural sector is our best sector. First thing, it provides us with food security. Next thing, it provides us with a way of exporting items. You have to export. Your country has to produce something in order to earn foreign exchange. And it has been reducing over the last 2 years. Rubber prices have gone down. Iron ore prices have gone down. So our normal products that we export out of the country to get foreign revenue are at a very low point. I believe agriculture is the most important sector because everywhere across the world, somebody got to eat something. If you rich, you gotta eat. Even if you poor, the poor people will provide food at their level. So everybody is eating. Can we produce more of our own rice so we don't have to import and pay money to bring in the foreign rice that we bring in? Mind you, India, all of the countries that have been sending us rice before are now challenged. Those countries will start to withhold what they have so that they're able to feed themselves. And we need to now find a way. We are only 5 million people. What can we do? Now is the time to energize the agriculture sector in such a way to ensure that we begin to plant more. And there are all kinds of reports and all kinds of things that we have already sitting around. I'm happy that we have a new agriculture minister who has proven that Liberians can really plant and export food. So she has a wide range of experience, practical experience. We need to bring that to bear in at the local level. How do we now get funding into the agriculture sector? Whatever we're doing, we have to start to talk to the African Development Bank and other banks or the ECOWAS bank that can provide funding at our level so we can energize the agriculture sector and grow and export.
The incident management team, in collaboration with the University of Liberia, has set up a precautionary observation center at the UL Fendel campus. According to the Chief Medical Officer of Liberia, Dr. Francis Kete, some of the dormitories are now being turned into precautionary observation centers. Dr. Kete made a disclosure in an ELBC interview Monday.
The government has been going through so much in terms of hotels. Most of our active high-risk patients have been placed into precautionary observation here in Monrovia, where we are renting hotels that are so expensive. So the incident management system has been working on the possibility for using our own facilities. And so the University of Liberia from the campus, they have given some dormitories and the star base. And yesterday, the minister and other members of the incident management system decided to go and see the progress that has been done there. And we are very, very pleased with the progress that has been made thus far.
What can you say in terms of percentage?
I think it's about 97 to 98% complete.
When will it become fully functional?
We think there are a few little things that have to be put in there, which I think won't take more than 2-3 days to have them installed. There will be some curtains, and also there will be a few places like the star base. There will be TV screen and so forth mounted to the wall. So I think, so hopefully by the end of the week or sometime next week, it should be fully functional.
As the country battles COVID-19, the Press Union of Liberia wants government to allow all Liberian businesses reopen. PR President Charles Coffey said the closure of some of those businesses is creating serious hardship for ordinary Liberians whose livelihood depends on profit from their daily sales. He spoke over the weekend when the Liberia Business Association identified with the Press Union of Liberia in Monrovia.
On people who always work with LIBA to contribute to LIBA so LIBA can reach out. I know you've been reaching out to the disabled, you've been reaching out to other people. And the government should also consider some of the Liberian businesses. You know, they are very essential. They should open up these businesses to the same 3 o'clock. Not just people opening stores with building materials and the liberalization policy. The government is ignoring the liberalization policy during this coronavirus situation. You see people overcrowded in the market. Why you can't leave the people who sell used clothes to sell to the 3 o'clock level? Because they said the rest they are going to distribute will be for vulnerable. So how do you expect the rest of the Liberian people to look for resources and feed their family members? Because right now, most of the institutions are not working, especially the poor teachers, the business people, they rely on the business. So we'll let to appeal to them to consider that so that the people who can sell at 3, everybody leave the street. Thank you. This mask will be used for the intended purpose. Thank you.
The president of the Liberia Business Association, James Shorter, has underscored the crucial role played by the Liberian media in the fight against COVID-19. Mr. Shorter also stressed the need for journalists to be protected against the virus while taking the risk to inform the public. He was speaking at the weekend when LIBA presented 300 nose masks to the Press Union of Liberia.
Today, as we identify ourselves with our brothers and sisters in the epidemic. We thought it wise to get the PUL that control the entire press freedom in this country to be part of our donation, because we see that we cannot move forward if we can't get the press by our side, because our messages will not be heard by the people. So in giving out, and then we leave the press out, and press for us, we see that they are very vulnerable to the process, because everywhere we call them, they go. And this pandemic, you don't know who got it. So we see that what we are sharing out to be able to share with them too, to be able to protect themselves. So then we call the president of the PUL, Mr. Charles Covey. Mr. Covey, we do have much to offer you, but in this day, we have 12 parts of this. Each of the parts is 25 pieces, so it's about 300 pieces. We thought it wise as our own way of sharing with you to take this mark and be able to share on your memo to be able to protect yourself. As we heard from the health ministry and our president, that we should all use masks to be able to protect ourselves as we engage one another.
Meanwhile, the PL President Charles Covey said the nose masks will be distributed to journalists across the country.
As you rightly said, all of us are at risk, and we can be sensitizing the public without setting an example. We have most of our colleagues across the country who do not have EE or PPE, emergency service material for journalists, as in Ghana and Sierra Leone. These are the masks they use, and sometimes they got personal protective equipment, sanitizer. So we want to commend LIBA that you are a business institution, but you're concerned about humanity. And these pieces will go across the country. We are expected to go to bombing to make our people to use these masks and sensitize the Liberian people. Even those who have television will be demonstrating that how to use the mask. So thank you. We hope that other institutions will emulate the example. The last time, the Rotary Club of Singer also brought some masks to us. Their wives brought some buckets. And this contribution came at the right time. Yesterday we have our mass meeting. Some of the discussions were about personal protective equipment. But these masks are very important.
LIBA also donated food and non-food items to the School of the Blind and the Sustainable Agriculture of Liberia Youth for Economic Achievement, SAPO. Receiving the items on behalf of SAPO, the group leader Melvin Harley thanked LIBA for identifying with the disabled community.
We say thank you. We wholeheartedly receive it with joy and happiness, and appreciating you at this time to come and identify with us, a person with disability. We say thank you. And we also ask that at least others will see what you have done and will be able to do the same. So again, we say thank you. We highly appreciate it. We have some 15 to 20 acres that we cultivated in Banga, and we planted corn, and then the corn is coming on good. And we'll also be looking in your direction to at least time for harvest, so that you can join us to see how best we can be able to market our product from our farm. And with our membership spreading all over, because we are not people that are controlling a specific home. So we just run the office and the memberships live outside in terms of forum like this. We collect them from all over to come. So due to the information given me by Honorable Fala, I called them, but Saturday many people are engaged. So some were here and some decided to go and check by later.
If you're just coming our way, you're watching LNTV News Live, coming to you from Pinsville, outside of the nation's capital, Monrovia. My name is Edward TAMBA, anchoring this edition of the news program, and the top stories we're following. The Liberian government names budgetary support in agriculture as critical areas for Liberia's post-COVID-19 economic recovery. Out of 211 persons infected with coronavirus, Liberia records 85 recoveries and 62 cases in treatment. River G County Senator Komene Wisa calls for easing of 3 p.m. lockdown restriction for farmers in rural areas. And of the home front, the Nigerian government demolishes 2 hotels for violating lockdown rules in Rivers State. We still got more developments ahead, but this break, to be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. The former chairman on the Senate Committee on Information and Broadcasting, Senator Komine Wise, is calling for a speeded solution to the ongoing standoff between the Ministry of Information and the Press Union of Liberia, PUL. The Ministry of Information and the leadership of the Press Union of Liberia are involved in a disagreement, with some members of the PUL refusing to accept the reprinted accreditation cards from the ministry for journalists covering the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking in an ELBC interview over the weekend, Senator Wise described this situation as a distraction to the fight against coronavirus in the country.
I don't think the press union, people from what I've heard, they're not against carrying passes. But what they're against is that the Ministry of Information will choose who carry the passes. Because when you do that, then it means you will choose certain media institutions only that you are satisfied with. And the press union is supposed to be protecting the interests of all their members, even if people have a contrary view to what is expressed by government. I also want to indicate that in my advocacy for this, the support for the press and for the media, I am mindful that there are some individuals who abuse this freedom, but you don't kill the media because you have a problem with an individual. If there's a given individual whose behavior and utterances are found to be, we call them in. That's what call them in. But you can't gag the entire media by putting unimplementable restrictions.
Senator Wise is at the same time calling for the easing of the 3 p.m. lockdown on farmers in rural communities.
I get calls every day from these farming communities. These are communities that live on the little farms they make, where they got the cassava, and for those who live in what the big towns or the cities, they have to go maybe 2-3 miles into the bush to make their farm, because the town has, has grown, so they got to go distances to be able to make their farm. If the person leaves from the farm, leave from their house, even as early as 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and they go out to walk for 2 hours to get to their farm, to get there, they must rest. After that, they go and do some little work. Before they start the work, it's getting close to 3 o'clock. So you mean they will start heading back home at 1 o'clock. They will have done nothing. So the object of these things is to control the population, to ensure that the population do not spread the virus, or that they do not acquire it from other people who may have it. But if the person goes on the farm, deep in the forest or whatever, when they've concluded the work they need to do there, they would not have interacted with anybody except their own, because, own family people that they will be interacting with at home anyway. So they finish that, they walk back home. Usually by the time they get home, by 7 or 8 o'clock, they are tired. They are not the people that are the focus of this control. It is mainly our young people who go out in the day, going out in the city, going up and down, in the drinking spots and
A United Kingdom-based charity organization, Life for African Mothers, has donated medical supplies worth 75,000 British pounds to the Ministry of Health. Speaking during the donation, the country director of the organization, Mr. Abdul Fayaba, promised to encourage more international partners to support Liberia in addressing the challenges facing the health sector.
Effort from the Ministry of Health and the Member of Parliament, obviously the representative, the speaker specifically, Dr. Chimo, and that of the UK ambassador, that's David Bergman, and other partners for IHPM.
I mean, it says for how many counties is it?
For the entire country. So each of those boxes will be going to one county each, and then each of the boxes will be going, as the minister, each will be going to one of the counties, and the 16 boxes here we have additional for Maserati and other specific facilities that we're looking for the past time. So these funds are going to the 15 counties and then at the military hospital.
He said, which amount of money was?
75,000 pounds. So when you convert, it will be about 100,000.
Is it the first time you're donating to?
No, this is not the first time. We've been donating. We've been helping the government of Liberia since 2011. This is just part of the contribution to our country at this particular time, looking at the current condition of our country and looking at the risks associated with people not getting quality medication. And these are quality medication from, as you can see, international health partner and that of the Life African Model together with Pfizer and other big pharmaceutical companies.
For a part, Liberia's Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jalal expressed gratitude to the organization and the British government for the decision to identify with Liberia and the global COVID-19 pandemic.
On behalf of the Ministry of Health and all the people in the Republic of Liberia, we want to say thank you to our partners that were able to send these boxes at this critical time during the fight against the coronavirus. We want to continue to say thank you to them for supporting us, and we hope that this is not the last support. They have been supporting us in the past, and we believe that they will continue to support us. All of these boxes will be sent to each of the counties to be used for the appropriate cost. And the one that are supposed to go to the military hospital, I'm sure they will be used for the internal purpose. So extend our gratitude to all of those who jointly provided these drugs for the people of Liberia.
Yeah, alright. Tomorrow, hey, the sun is gonna shine, yeah. Listen now, everything's gonna be alright now. Shabali baby, yeah, alright. Tomorrow, hey, the sun is gonna shine, yeah. Listen now, everything's gonna be alright now, yeah. Everything's gonna be alright, yeah, right now, yeah. Right, everything's gonna be okay, alright. Keep your heads up, up to the sky, yeah.